Can a baby give his heart to Jesus? How can he be baptized? This question, laden with theological intricacies, is not uncommon. It often emerges from a misunderstanding or perhaps a lack of familiarity with Catholic theology. It's a question that invites us to delve deeper into the richness of our faith, to explore the nuances of belief and sacrament. And so, with curiosity as our guide, let's dive into the Catholic Apologist's response to this question and shed some light on the matter. The Catholic Apologist asserts that Christian parents profess faith for their children, much like Jewish parents did in the Old Testament when circumcising their male infants. This comparison is vital to our understanding of the theological reasoning behind infant baptism. In the Old Testament, Jewish parents took the responsibility of bringing their male infants into the covenant of God through circumcision. They didn't wait until their children were old enough to make the decision for themselves. This act symbolized their belonging to the family of God and their commitment to His laws. Fast forward to the New Testament, where St. Paul refers to baptism in Colossians 2 verse 11 as circumcision not administered by hand. This metaphorical comparison to circumcision is not accidental. St. Paul is drawing a parallel between the Old Testament practice of circumcision and the New Testament practice of baptism. The circumcision not administered by hand suggests that baptism, like circumcision, is an outward sign of an inward grace. It's not a physical act, but a spiritual one, administered by God Himself. It's a sacrament that brings us into the family of God, just as circumcision did for the Jewish infants. This theological understanding supports the practice of infant baptism. It's not about the child's ability to profess faith, but the parent's commitment to raising the child in the faith, just like the Jewish parents of old. So as we can see, the practice of infant baptism has roots not only in tradition, but also in Scripture. But why would God want children, who cannot yet understand or profess faith, to be baptized? You might ask? Well, let's imagine God as a loving father. This father wants all his children to be part of his family, regardless of their age or understanding. This loving sentiment is echoed throughout the Scriptures. Take, for instance, the time when Jairus, a synagogue leader, begged Jesus to heal his daughter in Mark chapter 5, verses 22 to 43. Or when a desperate father sought Jesus' help for his possessed son in Mark chapter 9, verses 17 to 27. Then there's the passage in Luke chapter 18 verse 15, where people were bringing infants to Jesus, and He welcomed them. And let's not forget the account in Acts chapter 16 verse 33, where a whole household was baptized at once, including children. Thus, through the lens of a loving father, infant baptism becomes a beautiful expression of God's desire to welcome all into His family, regardless of age or understanding.